You don't ruin progress because you're scared of failure. You ruin it because success forces you to answer one question you've been avoiding for years. What if all your excuses suddenly have nowhere to hide? There's a sick pattern nobody admits. Life finally starts working, and instead of leaning in, you start pulling away. Not dramatically, slowly, quietly. You loosen the structure that got you the result. You think you're easing pressure, but you're actually dismantling everything brick by brick. You've spent years telling yourself stories about why things aren't happening. The moment progress shows up, those stories start dying. Suddenly the truth is in your face. Maybe you always could have done it. Maybe you weren't stuck. You were stalling. Ever notice how you can be consistent for 2 weeks? Then one random event, a tired morning, a stressful day, and you throw away everything? You get a little bit ahead financially and suddenly start ordering food, treating yourself, buying random things you don't need. You build a daily routine, then sabotage it with just one late-night scrolling session that turns into 3 hours of junk. You plan to wake up early and set an alarm with a backup alarm and then a backup excuse. If I am tired, I'll skip tomorrow, I need balance. You avoid the one task that matters by inventing fake priorities. Cleaning, messaging someone, watching educational content, making unnecessary planning pages. You call progress too much, as if struggling wasn't already too much. People say it's procrastination. It's not. It's protection of the old identity pretending to help. You don't fall off because life gets hard. You fall off because life gets different. Stuck isn't comfortable, but it's familiar. Familiar wins every time. People sabotage progress for one brutal reason. They are more loyal to their old self than their future one. The old self knows the script. I'm trying. One day, life keeps getting in the way. The new self has no script. The new self means every decision matters. Every yes and no shapes reality. Every excuse looks pathetic. A lot of people are addicted to micro chaos, not huge drama, just tiny disruptions. Skipping one day, breaking one rule, starting one argument, wasting 1 hour. Those tiny bits of chaos give you an emotional rush, and that rush feels like proof you're alive. Routine feels dead. Consistency feels boring. Predictability feels wrong. You call boredom lack of motivation, but really you're just unfamiliar with peace. Some people are not afraid of being judged for failing. They're afraid of being judged for trying and still being average. They think, if I try and succeed a little, people expect me to keep going. And what if I can't? What if I run out of talent? What if I peak early? So they destroy early progress to protect a fantasy version of themselves. The fantasy version is always tomorrow I'll be great, never today. For some people, improvement isn't exciting. It's grief. You're losing an identity. You're losing an excuse. You're losing a familiar pain. And pain you understand often feels safer than a future you don't. Look at relationships. The moment you start acting confident, some people around you change. Some get threatened, irritated, weirdly distant. You notice it. And instead of pushing forward, you dim yourself to keep the peace. Look at work. You finally get momentum on a project. Then suddenly you start checking random notifications. You convince yourself I need a break, but really you're running from the pressure of consistency. Look at health. You start eating clean. Then some internal voice says, this is too strict, and you fall back into just this once. Except once always becomes 3 weeks. These aren't accidental slips. They are rituals of returning to your old identity. You protect chaos because chaos gives you relief. I didn't succeed because everything went wrong. That sounds easier than, I didn't succeed because I stopped. You protect laziness because laziness lets you keep wishing. You protect distraction because distraction means you never have to look at the truth of your effort. Progress means confrontation. Confrontation with who you are when excuses disappear. A lot of people aren't scared of hard work. They're scared of being ordinary even after trying. So they stay stuck because stuck gives hope. Progress gives results. Results give reality. Do this today. Pick one repeating behavior you use to ruin progress and replace it with a trigger rule. Example, if you normally scroll at night, set this rule. The moment I get in bed, I plug my phone in across the room. That's it. One rule, one trigger, one kill switch. Make one sabotage point impossible. Not everything, just one. You're not building motivation. You're building a boundary with your old self. Progress doesn't disappear, you delete it. And every time you quit after results show, you teach yourself that you're only comfortable when you're losing. Stop treating growth like it's a stranger in your home. It showed up because you invited it. Now keep the door open long enough for it to stay.